Today I fucked up by eating before the anesthetics wore off. Went to the dentist to fix a small cavity. Got the routine local anesthetic done on the left side of my jaw. Got home 30 minutes later and decided to bust out the Big Mac I had saved from last night's McDonald's run. Nothing more delicious than day-old burger when starving. Was savoring the greasy goodness when halfway through I was realizing that there was a particular piece of the burger, felt like meat, that just wasn't breaking up properly. Turns out that piece of meat was actually my inner lip, but because the anesthetic didn't wear off I had no idea I had been chewing on a part of myself for a good 5 seconds. Ran to the mirror and was met by a bloody mess, blood and clear puncture wounds in my inner lip. Still couldn't feel the pain but knew this was going to be painful as fuck for the next few days. Wound is now a cluster of canker sores and I have now developed a taste for human flesh. Too long didn't read, ended up eating part of myself because I couldn't differentiate myself from a Big Mac due to anesthetics. So you just broke the law without breaking the law. Haha plus for commentary. Biting lips is always sexy. That's rough buddy. Did it taste good? Today I fucked up by letting a girl think my soup was vegan. This today I fucked up takes place over a long stretch of time. It started about a year ago, when I matched with a girl on a dating app. She was way out of my league so I just sent her a really basic message without putting too much effort/thought into it and I was surprised when she messaged me back. We chatted for a bit and I asked her out to coffee and she accepted. We went on a couple dates and at some point I mentioned I liked to cook and she said she'd love if I cooked for her. So I decided to go with my potato soup. I know that's not like the most impressive meal in the world but it's one I was confident I could nail and most anybody likes. She came over to my apartment just as it was finishing and I got us both some. I offered her some bacon to put in it and she laughed when she declined. So we eat the soup and she is raving about it. She loves the stuff, says it's the best soup she's ever had. And she can't believe it's vegan. Which she shouldn't, because it wasn't, and it had plenty of butter and chicken stock all up in it. I'm sure she never directly told me she was vegan. I feel like I would have definitely noticed. When I looked at her dating profile again, yep, there it was, right at the top. But she'd loved the soup, and I was extremely into her, and again, she was out of my league so I didn't figure I had much of a shot at her sticking around long term anyway, so I rolled with it. But then she did stick around. We ended up dating and things started to get serious. And I got to damn work learning vegan recipes, which she liked most of but she always asked for that soup. So I probably made and tossed 24 attempts at finding a vegan potato soup that tasted the same, but could really never replicate it. So I took to making excuses for not making it much and only cooking it when I knew I could cook when she wasn't around. Which got a lot more difficult when the pandemic started and she suggested we move in together. Which is going amazing, we're actually engaged now, except she keeps wanting me to make the soup. So I made a shitload she when was out and froze it and have been surviving that way. One of her friends is also vegan and likes to cook, and she asked me to send her the recipe. I tried saying it was a secret but I've shared a lot of other ones, so I had to send a fake one that I know isn't nearly as good. I feel the noose tightening every day. I wish I would have told her the very first day but then she might have gotten mad and left. Every time I make the soup I'm telling her a lie and it's gone on so long now I don't know how she'll react if I do tell her. I'm in love and going to marry her, but I don't know if I can keep the soup lies up for the rest of my life. Too long didn't read. I made non-vegan soup for a girl I didn't know was vegan, didn't tell her right away, and now I have to live with the soup lie the rest of my life. Edit, I'm going to tell her tonight. We'll update with hopefully not horrible news. Edit 2, I'll type up the recipe tonight too probably but be aware a lot of it is to taste or eyeballed honestly. Edit 2, 5 recipe here. Edit 3, it went good she didn't dump me. Yo, if the soup is that good can you drop the recipe Lamau? Update, she didn't dump me. At first she was pretty mad/shocked but I pretty much just laid the whole thing out and how bad and stupid I felt and she started laughing hard and calling me an idiot, endearingly. To make things right and set back the vegan balance I'll be going vegan with her the next 2 weeks which she figured up will offset the non-vegan meals she ate with vegan meals I eat. Also she said she will be giving me shit about this the rest of our lives and she doesn't want me to make it anymore if we're having dinner dinner together, like hell if I ever would've anyway. It went as well as it could have. Glad I told her, it's a huge weight off my chest. Okay, she's not home yet to tell, but here's the recipe as best I can write it out. I've always made it from memory, but I read this over a few times and feel like I got it all in there. Let's call it homewrecker soup. Also, to set expectations, this is considered great by someone who does not normally eat anything with chicken or butter, so if you are used to those things, maybe it'll only be really good potato soup. Ingredients: around 6 Yukon Gold potatoes, around 6 garlic cloves, 1 sweet onion, 1 carrot, if decent sized, if small 2. 5 cups chicken broth, 2 cups milk. Yep, I fucking forgot milk was one of the non-vegan things. 4 tablespoons flour, 6+ tablespoons butter, salt and pepper to taste, chives, cheddar/bacon if you're not trying to trick someone into thinking it's vegan. I usually just do bacon, but it's pretty good with cheddar too. Heat 1 tablespoon butter in a stock pot and cook chopped onion and really thinly julienne carrot till onion is soft, tilde 5 minutes. Add garlic and cook another 30 seconds. Deglaze pot with some of the chicken broth if you see much stuff sticking. I skip this sometimes if I don't see much to deglaze. Add milk, chicken broth, and finely diced potatoes to pot and season with salt and pepper. Can't even guess how much I use, but it's a lot of pepper. Bring to a boil and cook for about 15 minutes. The potatoes should be really soft. If it takes longer, you probably need to dice them more next time. While it's boiling, make a roux with 3 tablespoons of butter and 4-5 tablespoons of flour. Once the potatoes are done, put in another 2 tablespoons of butter and the roux and hit it with an immersion blender till it hits the level of chunkiness you prefer. I like really creamy. Taste and add more salt/pepper. Simmer for about 10 more minutes after blending, stirring occasionally. Serve with chives. There are some good vegan alternative for butter and chicken stock. This is coming from a non-vegan. I'm sure she wouldn't notice if you subbed those out. P.S. You should also tell her I've tried several, but if you recommend the best ones, you know it might save my life. As hilarious as this situation is, it's a bit disturbing if you think about it. How many times has Op fed his vegan girlfriend non-vegan soup? I'm not vegan myself, but if I was, I would certainly see this as a form of betrayal. The first time was an honest mistake, but every time after that wasn't. If I was Op, I would admit my wrongdoing and hope to God my girlfriend would be willing to forgive me. Yeah, I do feel pretty awful about it. I don't think she would dump me if I told her, but it's a terrifying risk. But so is her finding out on her own, which I'm sure would be worse. Today I fucked up by not knowing how strip clubs work. This actually happened a few years ago and it's mostly my nephew's fuck up, but it's still a good story. I have 2 nephews, A and B. A was turning 21, so B suggested we take him to a strip club. Neither of us had ever been to a strip club before. Friday comes and the 3 of us find a club nearby. I have a decent job, so I tell the birthday boy I'll pay for up to 4 lap dances. B is married and always broke, so I offer to pay for his dances too. But he says he's fine because his wife gave him money. Everything is pretty uneventful at first. A is having a good time and getting a couple of dances, but B is practically examining all of the girls with a jeweler's glass trying to find the perfect girl. Finally sees a Russian girl and chases her down. They head into the back room. Now for the uninitiated, the way lap dances work is the girl will rub up against you for the duration of whatever particular song is being played in the club in exchange for money. In this case it's $20 per dance. Some unscrupulous clubs will clip the songs so you don't get the full length, but occasionally you will find a gem like Jumbo's Clown Room, where I once saw a dancer perform on stage to the Doors' The End in its full glory. So B heads into the back with the Russian and a song passes. In another, then another. I turn to A and ask how much money B had, but he has no idea. He suggests I buy him another lap dance so he can check on B in the back room. A comes back and reports that B is still back there. Eventually B comes out with the dancer and she says to me, "Uncle Hank Pimp, your nephew needs to talk to you." B sits next to me and says, Hey, I fucked up. Can I borrow $300? I get the money from the fee gouging ATM in the corner of the club and pay the girl. We're walking out. I ask how he spent so much. I don't know how these things work. The girl said it was $20 per dance, not per song. So I figured I could just stay there until I got bored. Too long didn't read. We went to a strip club and nephew ran up a big bill thinking it was a buffet and not a la carte. You need to play more GTA. Nephew walks out the club. Stripper, hey. You have to pay for those dances. Nephew kills stripper to avoid paying dab. 1 star. Uncle steals all the money on stripper's dead body. Quick, yank that guy out his car and steal it. Quality bonding achievement unlocked. Neither of us had ever been to a strip club before, but occasionally you will find a gem like Jumbo's Clown Room, where I once saw a dancer perform on stage to the doors the end in its full glory. What? I went to Jumbo's about a year later. That place really isn't a strip club as the dancers wear pasties, but it's something everyone visiting LA has to experience. Jumbo's has some history behind it. B is married and always broke, so I offer to pay for his dances too. But he says he's fine because his wife gave him money. Eventually B comes out with the dancer and B sits next to me and says, hey, I fucked up. Can I borrow $300? Yo, this is so trashy. My friends messed up worse on our first trip. I think one spent plus €400 and one spent plus €600. Pro tip: never order the champagne. Not just the champagne, never buy the dancer a drink. They're just as expensive as a dance. Family trip to the strip club sounds pretty seedy.